Hello and welcome to Robby's Lobby Hobby of Gaming. Well, okay. Hello and welcome to Robby's Lobby of Gaming. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Robby's Story Time Part 4. Let's get that in there. Or Chew and Chew. Or Chew and Chew. Yeah! Or what's up? Okay. Anyway, all right. So for those who don't know, I've have not been able to do story time for a while because I did not have stories, and now that I do have stories, I shall do whatever and go blah blah blah, chickadee chickadee chicka chuka, chocobo. Yeah. So we're gonna wait a little bit until we get some more ladies and gents in the channel to see, just what's up and how about and how do you do. I seen that I had two persons in here. One of them escaped. Larna's here. Hello, Sassy. Hello, Larna. Falls down from the wardrobe. Oh, hello. All right. So do you ladies want to hear my stories, or would you like to wait for a couple of more guests to arrive? I mean, it's up to you. Just let's get this party started. Yeah. No? Okay. I was saying no. All right. So I do have very small stories. This shouldn't take too long, except for me for stalling for time for the first minute and 35 seconds that I've been just doing right now. All right. So anyway, at work. All right. At work. I'm sitting there. I'm at the bar. Okay. I'm just minding my own business after I had just, helped the server get her stuff and everything. Next thing I know, all I hear is this. And I was just like, I looked over and she goes, guess what? So-and-so. And like, I can hear this, what, on the other side of the phone. She's like, I farted again. And I'm like, oh my God. No, I was not disgusted because I fart too. Oh, come on. Like, everybody farts. Everybody burps. Everybody farts and burps. People get the hiccups, so whatever. So it was just like really weird because, like I said, I was just like, because I wasn't expecting it, because she was also on a phone call too, because apparently she farted over in the other bar that she was in. All right, so there was this woman, all right, just hear me out. There was this black woman that I did not know that was at the bar, right? So I'm sitting there, like, I'm just like, putting my waters away, trying to make sure that the refrigerator's full of, drinks for the guests. And all I hear is this faint, hello. I pop up and the black woman goes, oh, like this. I was like, yeah, I know. White people just pop up out of nowhere, don't they? And then she goes, excuse me, young man. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm in trouble. She goes, could you please come here? I was like, yep, I'm in trouble. So I get up to her and I was like, yes, ma'am. And she goes, sir. I was like, okay, here it comes. Like, here it comes. Like, I am deeply going to get written up. I'm going to get fired or something. I'm going to just get in whatever reason why I'm going to get in trouble for this. She goes, please never lose that sense of humor. And now I was like this. Like, whoo. Like, ma'am, you scared me. I thought you were going to like yell at me or anything. She's like, no. And she was telling me like, it's just that out there sense of humor that I was not expecting. And she just loved it. So later on, a Mexican lady decides to come up to my bar too. But I definitely hear this, hello. And I'm like, I pop up too. And she's like, whoa. I was like, yeah, I know. Like, white people just pop up out of nowhere. And she starts laughing. I was like, oh, she's like, do you tell that to everybody? I was like, well, considering you're like the second woman. She goes, who was the first? I was like, oh, it was like some black woman that I scared like an hour ago. And then she just laughed even more. And she goes, how did she take it? I was like, well, she told me never to lose that sense of humor. So I'm definitely going to keep that sense of humor. And she goes, good, young man, good. She goes, well, for your efforts, for all that, everything. She's like, she gets her drinks and she goes, here's a tip for you. She's like, that was funny. You earned it. I was like, oh boy, cool. So then about like a week and a half go by after all this. Now there's this Asian lady. All right. And it just blows my mind. And she's done this to me not once, not twice, but thrice. She has done this 3 times to me. She goes, may I get 2 waters? I'm like, okay. I was like, here you go, ma'am. She goes, gracias. I'm sitting there thinking like, that an Asian lady just say gracias to me. And I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, like I don't know how to respond or how to react to that. So I'm like, okay. Second time she comes up, the same thing. And I'm like, okay. So I was like, okay, all right. So like, I'm like, okay, so this is probably a little bit common. And then she does it a third time, right? I'm like, I wonder if this Asian lady knows I'm Caucasian. And I'm sitting there laughing to myself. I'm just like, okay, so she's done this, 3 times to me. I'm just like at the bar, just going like, I wonder if she realizes I'm Caucasian and everything. But I do say de nada, which means you're welcome in Spanish. I know, Espanol is poquito, just small amounts of Espanol. So I'm sitting there like, oh my God. So I'm waiting for this lady for a 4th time, right? I have not seen her. I just have not seen her after all that, just from the 3 times that this was happening. And I think this is the last story from story time. So there's a woman at work and she is short. She is not 5'2" short. She is not 5'1" short. She is not exactly 5 foot short. This lady's at least like 4'11", 4'10". She is short. All right. So 2 days ago, when I'm, going into work, so me and her are conversing. Because like, oh, hi, because she was in the pool lobbies doing her serving and this and that and everything. She goes, oh, hi, Robert. And I'm like, oh, hi, hello, so and so. I'm not gonna expose their names. And I was, it's just like, hello. So obviously I'm taller than her, right? And okay, we're outside. So she's trying to hide, to get the shade. Well, I don't move. So she's doing this. Like, I'm like, why are you moving, short staff? I was just like, just stay still. And she starts laughing because I didn't move. And I'm like, geez. Like, oh, you're like this. You're like, oh, hey, look at me. You're like, oh, I want to be blinded. 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 And like, oh, I'm not blinded. Like, finally, like, I'm like, what took you so long? Like, I wasn't even moving. Like, why you were like, with the sun. So she, of course, she slaps me and we all start laughing and have a good time with it. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I actually was being nice, standing still to block the sun out of your eyeballs. And what are you doing? Like, it's like, why are you doing this? Are you like purposely torturing yourself here, lady? And she's like, no. And she goes, well, I hope sooner or later that I get to see you and we get to work together in the pool and everything. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting in my back of my mind. I'm not gonna lie. Not likely. I love working with her. I just don't want to work in the pool. Like, it's very slow. It's so slow. So anyway, unfortunately, that's actually all the stories that I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope that you enjoyed it. So like I said, it was going to be short, except for that 1 minute and 35 seconds of me stalling for everyone to try to join for story time. So like I said, I do hope you enjoyed this. So take care. Have a good one. And I will be back, with more video game streams in just a moment. So take care. Have a good one. Oh, hiccups. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.